What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video here. We've got questions on contingencies and commitments today for you. Now, we have gains contingencies, we have loss contingencies. Do we disclose them? Do we report them? Is it just a footnote? What do we have? Well, let us see. All right, what amount would Martin report on its financial statements as a result of these two lawsuits? Let's see. Martin Pharmaceutical Company is currently involved in two lawsuits. One is a class action suit in which consumers claim that one of Martin's best-selling drugs caused severe health problems. It is reasonably possible, all right, I like that terminology, you should too, because that is indicative of what we will choose for our answer, that Martin will lose the suit and have to pay $20 million in damages. Martin is suing another company for false advertising and false claims against Martin. It is probable that Martin will win the suit and be awarded $5 million in damages. All right, so we've got a reasonably possible loss and we've got a probable gain. Let's see what happens here. Well, I'm going to bring your attention to our wonderful graph that I'm sure you saw in the lecture. This is for loss contingencies, keep in mind. We have a treatment for gain contingencies, which, if you remember, is simply going to be you only recognize them when they actually happen, not when it's probable or reasonably probable. So this $5 million gain, sure, you might disclose it, but there is going to be no reporting for this $5 million gain. All right, that takes care of that. Now, what about the $20 million damages? This $15 million expense might try to get you to think that you net these two together. However, that is not the case. So it's not going to be 5. It's not going to be 15. Now, is it all of the 20 or is it 0 of the 20? All right, well, like I said, this chart right here is for our loss contingencies. It is reasonably possible. And if we just look here, reasonably possible, what do you do there? You footnote it. If you footnote something and you're not disclosing it, you're not recording it, then there's no numbers accounted for in the financial statements, which means this answer is simply 0. Awesome. We saw a couple good tricks here. Please use those as good takeaways, and it's a lot of memorization, right? You just kind of look at the chart. What are we dealing with? Well, you see what we're dealing with here. Awesome. Let us move forward to the next one. All right, Tiger Rags is evaluating its financial statement disclosures relating to gain contingencies. When should the company recognize the gain on the contingency? All right. We talked about this before, but what's the actual terminology for it? Is it when it's clearly defined? So first off, this is not an accounting term at all. It's definitely not a thing. Clearly defined, I guess you could also say when it's estimatable, but that's not the case. It also mentions can be estimated down here. Not that at all. What about when it's realized? So recognized means when you record it on the financials. Realized mean when it's really happened. You might remember that from Reg if you've taken that already. Now, okay, this is possible. It's good answer. However, let's keep reading. What about when reasonably possible and the amount can be estimated? Well, I agree the amount needs to be estimated. However, it's only going to be recorded and recognized when it happens. And what about probable? Not that either. So we are going to end up with our final answer here of letter B, when it is realized, when it really happens, when you actually do win, and maybe you win the lawsuit, the judge says you win, awesome, they sign the paperwork. That's when it's recognized, not when it's reasonably possible, not when it's likely, not when you can estimate it, only when it really happens. Awesome. Those were a couple questions on our gains and losses, contingencies, and commitments. What do you disclose? What do you record? What do you do nothing about? Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.